Mladen, welcome on Insurer TV.
Thanks for having me.
And what would you say is next for OIP since we last spoke?
So over the past year, I think that's about a time since we last talked, is OIP has been investing in two main areas, right? And this is where we strategize the most on. So the first one is our core value is, and our core competency is incubating the talent that can tackle more complex underwriting flows and policy operational flows, right? And that has been our game for the last 10 years. Now, what's been important for us is how to actually replicate that model so it can be scaled into a global delivery service, right? So we've been working hard on incubating these hubs at India and multiple European countries so we can provide that scale to our customers at this point of our growth. So that was one. The second vector for us, and a very important one, was doubling down on our R&D and product initiatives, especially in the field of data science and AI. So we have been investing in data science for over 7 years now. We have been developing data-centric products. Now, what we have been working on in the past period is increasing impact of those technologies, combining them into an offering that can cover even more use cases and solve more problems for our market. So pretty much we are moving towards supporting our market in multiple areas compared to just workflow-based type of a service.
Nice. And can you tell me more about the NT Extractor and how it's helping your clients?
Yes, of course. So the NT Extractor, what I like to call it, it is a document transformation service, but it's more of an instrument than a tool. So why that distinction comes from, we are not a horizontal type of a solution. We work specifically on specific insurance problems in the specialty market. So that gives us focus, and we can do a lot more with the technology that understands the space. The second thing is we need to be high precision, because whatever data errors or quality degradation that we create at the first gate, then that transposes throughout the entire policy lifecycle. For our clients, it's very important that data becomes trustworthy. So NT Extractor is covering much more than just submissions, but it did start with submissions because that use case was really good for a couple of things. First of all, it checks all three CEO boxes, so it can create top-line value through collecting more data and going to more markets with it, right? It can create immediate savings, which is something that everybody's looking at. You can get like your bottom line cost by 50% cut off. It gives more speed as well. So that submission ingestion portion was really important for us, and it worked very well. We got a lot of traction. Now with the NT Extractor, where we are going with it is extending it to ingesting any content and creating a centralized data hub for brokers to access the data that they couldn't do before, right? So they can go and do more predictive analytics, get pricing better, go to more markets, and cut down time to market. So those kind of use cases. So that's been very important for us.
Nice. And you're working in tech transformations with insurance clients. Like, what are the biggest mistakes you see them making?
I wouldn't be calling them mistakes. Maybe it's adverse choices when they're making when they are allocating their tech budgets. So,
very diplomatic.
Yeah. so the thing is, it's been a rough period with everything and inflationary pressures and the social inflation and everything, and the budgets were not as big on the technology side, but then you got AI on top of it, and then that becomes a mandate now. So it's been difficult, right? So what I would say is, where they could do better is actually examining the particular use of a particular technology that they're doing. I see a lot of good movements, right? We see data warehousing, SaaS products getting introduced to their stacks, and that's something that we haven't been seeing for a very long time. But then if that doesn't match the goal, if that doesn't go down to how that technology will be used, it will just create more disparity. So thinking about how to integrate those workflows into something useful, that was an error. And then another thing is the AI technologies that are coming on today, right? Everybody just turns the face towards LLMs because it seems like an omnipotent solution that will change the game, right? That can hurt the business a lot if not applied properly, because it can create even more fragmentation in the process. It will solve wrong problem or solve the right problem, but not in the right way. So those are just two areas where I would say that we need to focus our attention more to.
And what kind of technologies do you see really transforming the industry?
So yeah, when we say transforming insurance industry, right, we just need to be mindful of the fact that we are trailing compared to other industries, compared to finance, let's say, in technology adoption, right? So there was that wave of SaaS and big data, then there was a wave of Insurtech and FinTech, and then we need to see AI stuff happening. And now in insurance, we are actually seeing impact of SaaS and big data first. So we do see a lot of good, healthy data warehouse projects, collecting all that information, storing it properly. So that is happening, and we do see more and more tools moving to cloud, which enables multi-connectivity. So in that way, we see a lot of good movement, right? That's very positive. Where we also see the first signs of much bigger reward is with these AI solutions, which are gaining traction and creating the first glimpses of value, like through fraud, claims processes, which are much more efficient through document analysis, getting much more information out of the same data that you're getting, predicting markets and pricing better. So all of these AI solutions are actually gaining much more traction than I expected in the industry. So yeah, some are saying that they cannot realize the value yet, but we do see very focused projects that are creating a lot of top line for the market.
Nice, and we're at the beginning of WSIA. What do you think some of the key themes coming up are going to be?
For me, I have to fight a bit of imposter syndrome here because I am from technologies. These guys are mostly talking about capacity, they're talking about regulation, market cycles and everything. And I'll not go there. So where I think the talks might be interesting is these new and emerging risks, how to cope with the increasing cyber coverage and everything that is needed there. AI risks that are posing and everything that's happening now in that area and who is responsible for what, where the risks lie. I think that there will be conversation about those emerging risks. But definitely, I think with the market softening in some pockets, we will be still seeking operational efficiencies to keep these operational ratios and underwriting ratios good. So I think there will be a lot of talks around how will the wholesale players and the carriers exchange the information better. How can they connect better so they can provide better experience for their customer base? So I think that will be an area that will be very important to
And
cover.
just picking up on something you said, are there any risks that the industry faces in wholesale adoption of AI?
There are risks as always, right? The biggest risk is that the area itself is not completely settled on what's acceptable, what's not. So we need to be comfortable with some things that the insurance industry hasn't been comfortable for a long time. So now in Europe, there has been more laws and acts that are coming to space to govern this. In US, not yet. So we are seeing either people closing off those projects altogether or going mayhem and just applying it forever.
Yeah.
So I think we need to meet in the middle. So
Yeah.
there are data security challenges, there are data governance challenges, privacy and all of that, but that just has to be taken into consideration when setting up projects less than being afraid of.
Yeah.
So that's it.
And it's been a busy year for OIP. What's next, would you say?
For us, the next logical thing is just to evolve our service model, right? To help the industry in multiple ways, because we have been doing it just in separate service lines. So what we will do is try to become an even better digital transformation partner for our clients. So we come in not just with underwriting and underwriting support staff, but we come in with a process understanding. We come in with the technologies that we grew in-house or our partners grew, so we can compile the perfect workflow for our clients and help them connect the workflows rather than just execute on tasks. So I think that's a logical step for us going forward.
Well, it sounds like a super interesting year coming. Thanks so much for coming on Insurer TV.
Again, thank you for having me and for listening to Tech Talks.